by now.
And I'm gonna make you do a reading on the moon. Just the type of question. Because I'm wondering if the moon, but I gotta think of how you'd phrase it. Like, do we have, like, the moon that we have now, is that going bye-bye, but we still have a moon, just the moon we have now won't exist? Because there's a theory the moon, the moon is a vehicle, and it's a vehicle that's negative. It's kind of keeping us suppressed.
I think it was that, but I told you I did a reading on the moon.
Yeah, you can
And
say it's always
I
messed up.
I got that it was a vehicle, okay, because the very card that came up in the question of the moon was the chariot. All right, and I mean, chariot of the gods. It literally was something that could travel. And when I asked just in general about the moon, I got 4 kings. Okay, a four of a kind in a deck of 78 cards is astronomical. Number one, and I was expecting female energy because Artemis is, the moon is a feminine energy. So
I heard
why?
that.
Yeah.
I heard from this guy. I forget what interview it was. Might have been on Freeman or whatever. And the guy said that that's been reversed. That the moon is actually male, and the sun is female, because the sun is the life giver, and the moon is like it's about decay. It's cold and stuff. That's what I heard. That's a lie.
That's what my card. I interpreted those 4 kings to be 4 alien races. And they're benevolent, and so I think it was something bad. I think the moon was like, you've heard David Icke say how it was this mind control device, and it was being used negatively against human race. So I think it was. And then I saw somebody talking about how there are 4 main extraterrestrial races that are helping the Earth: Pleiadians, Arcturians, 2 others I can't remember. But when I saw that, I'm like, oh, those are the 4. Those are the 4 kings that I saw on the moon. Okay, but I think you're right. I think there are 2 moons. There's some kind of barrier, whether it's a dome or whatever it is, between us and then whatever's out in space. Okay, we'll call it space. Doesn't, I mean, it, you know what I mean when I say space, out there. Okay, and I think that the moon and the sun are reflections of the real ones that are out there. So like if you were to fly a rocket straight at the moon and keep going towards the moon, you would never get there, because just like a reflection always gets further away from you, as you, or an illusion, as you get a mirage, as you get closer to it, it gets further away. But I think it's a visual representation of the real ones that are outside. Okay.
I think that's closer to it, because if you notice with UFOs never fly. They never seem to fly to outer space. They always seem to head towards volcanoes or into the water. So what people have thought is that there's portals in our Earth, and those UFOs, in order to get from here to Mars, they have to go through a portal in order to get to the next.
Well, they're both. There's portals. There's portals up in the ceiling as well. I mean, there's that one famous video supposedly from the ISS, and I know you've seen it. It's where there's a UFO moving over the Earth, and then off camera you see a flash of light, and then the UFO stops and it goes in the opposite direction, and then a missile goes right where it was. You know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think I've seen that one. It's supposed to be
Okay, so
impossible because you can't move like that. Yeah.
well, I'm just referring to your point that yeah, I think there are portals in the earth because there are
Yeah.
layers. You know,
Yep.
there's the surface where we live. Then under that there are these other worlds. You know, going down. How they say like there's 7 in total,
Mhm.
with Earth being in the middle. So 3 below and 3 above.
Yep. Well,
That's
if
what I
you,
think. I think it's not a dome above us. I think it's a ceiling. Okay. And if you could get through that ceiling, you would come up into the surface of the world above that. Right.
yeah.
And that's where beings like Titans live, by the way. Um, and
Well, if you have you ever seen the different cultures, like religions that have like that side view of the earth? Like there's one that's the Jewish one, and there's like almost every major religion has refers to the earth being flat and that there's layers. You know how like
mhm,
Sheol is down below, like that's where like
right.
the Titans are locked up that were naughty, and like hell is actually
Mm,
above that. Or Tartarus is supposed to be below hell, and that's where Titans are
mhm,
locked up that were terrible. So it's interesting that all these cultures all have the same thing, and most of those older cultures say that this is like the world has been destroyed before and restarted. Like I don't even know what number we're on, but I just saw a video, a guy showing
Brahma.
like hieroglyphs of like people using computers, and it looks like someone's on an iPad or cell phone,
Mhm,
where it's like,
mm.
how many times has this happened where technology moves to a spot and then the world just resets and then it starts all over again?
Right, right. That's why they say nothing can stop what's coming, because it's just a cycle. These cycles
Yeah.
that go around. And this is one reason why I'm not on the computer all day, every day, trying to get information and decode this and decode that, because it's just going to happen. I mean, there's nothing I can do to make it happen any faster, or to make it happen before it's ready to happen. Just enjoy enjoy the ride, you know. It's that's we're really lucky to be existing at this point in history, to be witnessing this type of change, this
Mhm.
shift, you know, from dark to light. It's pretty cool, man. I like it.
We just wish there would
You know,
be.
I was gonna listen. I was gonna answer your request, do one reading on the moon, but how do you want to ask it? And based on what I already know, okay, what the cards have told me before is that yes, it's a vehicle. Now I don't know if this is referring to the illusion moon that we see, or the one that's outside. You have to assume it's the one that's outside is the vehicle, and what we see is a reflection, a hologram.
Yeah,
Is that the original, or is that an illusion? I want to ask that
yeah,
first, okay?
yeah.
This is for my own fill in my own blanks. And do I have my camera set up?
I think we're gonna have to have something because you like look on your shirt, that necklace you're wearing. That's
Hmm.
you know the sun and the moon. There's always duality. So
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like the nodes on a an electrode. I know they work like an electrode too.
yeah, I've heard that. That's it. Basically, they recharge the
Right.
planet.
That's what the phases of the moon are. It's just like that little symbol on your phone that shows how
Yeah,
much charge your phone has.
yeah.
See, is this right? Okay, yeah. All right. So back to my question is the one we see, is that just a reflection of, is there another one that's more physical beyond that, or something like that? So let's see. So no. The one we see in the sky is not the actual one. So I'm saying that because the hangman sees everything on its head. So like you could,
Yeah.
it's like almost like it's a mirror, like almost like a mirror image or something. And the actual moon is in a different place outside of, so beyond our world. It's new territory. And this is reiterating that it is a military installation. The
Yeah.
moon is.
I
It's a
on
military installation.
Freeman Fly, he's the one who mentioned that there was a time where we nuked the moon, like we shot a missile up and it rang for, like it just rang, like it hit, and instead of
No. What happened was it wasn't a nuke. They didn't nuke it. It was a booster rocket from an Apollo mission,
yeah,
and it was kind of an accident. It was supposed to go out into space,
hmm
but it went off course and it ran into the moon. So when that impacted the moon, they were able to measure that the moon rang like a bell. That's the quote
yeah,
from it. Oh, this is really interesting down here that we have the emperor. So
yeah,
remember I said four kings, okay? Well,
mhm,
the emperor represents all the kings. He's the king of kings.
yeah.
So the cards couldn't give me four kings, but they gave me the emperor instead. And now it's being used strategically by, and this is the alliance, by the way,
Yeah.
strategically by the alliance for justice, to bring justice, which is balance back to mankind, because yin yang, we've been in the dark for too long, so now the moon is being used to bring in the golden age.
That's
This is an
interesting.
amazing.
It's interesting that the Seven of Swords is there because you mentioned the seven layers, and maybe it's bringing balance to the seven layers. You
Mhm.
know, because you talked about the there might be seven
Well,
realms.
yeah, I mean, I think that's a little
Oh,
bit of a
I'm just
coincidence
saying it.
more than
It's
anything.
interesting that you said that.
It's definitely
I'll be right there.
it's the moon is of course it's a very strategic uh thing. So, but the point of this spread was um is there another moon? So now there's definitely another moon. This is the reflection. This is that's why you have that lunar wave that
Yeah.
Crow
That's
777
very
made
cool.
famous. Um, and so they can hide anything. But there's this amazing film out that I watched, and this is before I got into the whole flat Earth. You know how flat Earth is? Oh, the moon's not even there; it's just an illusion. There is
Yeah.
something there, and
Yeah.
there's stuff on it. So there are all of these photographs from
Yeah.
NASA, from people with telescopes of structures on the moon and things on the moon. So
And
there's
light.
something up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not just a plasma field, and it's not just an, we're seeing something up there.
Mhm. And
It's
remember, if we've been
unique.
lied to about reality, like anything can go, like anything goes, because we don't know. I don't know. Right? So
But it's beyond whatever that ceiling is. I don't like dome for some reason.
yeah.
The idea of a dome, when I think of a dome, I think of being in a terrarium,
Yeah.
like a lizard in a terrarium, and you can't get out. You know,
Yeah.
if there is a dome that's encompassing the Earth, there are portals in it where you can get out. But I evidently it's to trap in the draconians and the lizard people, that they were so bad that we we live on this, that our plane is really way bigger than, of course, outside of Antarctica, and that we're just this
Yeah.
one little small bubble, and that we had this infection of these Dracos, and
Yeah. Like Draco reptilian
reptilians.
AI stuff.
So the other societies, they said, hey, we have to isolate this area, and they put a dome over it.
Like a pandemic.
Yeah. But
Yeah, because I was into all that stuff. Like I did like would watch videos on like all the different races that they like the 80 races that live, on the earth and things like that. I was all into that stuff for a while.
it's makes life a lot more fun. Is it getting
Yeah.
late there? What time is it?
Yeah, it's getting pretty late. We'll call it.